Hey guys, how's it going? It's your boy M.K.S here, back in another video. I know I've not been recording videos for a few days now. I'd say at least half a week probably. I think it's two. I can't remember the last time I recorded a video, so it must have been quite a while. But I had so many ideas in my head; it's like ideas overload. So anyway, just for people who might have watched my other videos and wonder why I haven't uploaded for a while, it's just because I've had sort of ideas overload. But anyway, recently it just so happens that I googled, I checked on YouTube on my smart hub TV something about Juventus, and as it happened, I found out that I think the entire board of Juventus has quit, and I wondered what Juventus fans think about that. So I'd love to hear your opinions if any Juventus fans stumble across this crazy guy here. But as a fan of Italian football generally, if people have seen my previous videos might know I'm a mad fan of Italian football generally. I don't really care who wins domestically in Italy, like the Italian Cups or League or anything like that. I care more like if Italian teams win the Conference League, Europa League, Champions League, or even World Club Cups or Super Cups. And I'd love to see teams like Juventus getting to that stage. Juventus, obviously, the fans of Juventus see themselves as a big club, and I think to do that, I think they need to win the Champions League or even the World Club Cup, which I was hoping they would do, possibly at least one of those under Ronaldo, or like he could have brought that experience from his time at Real Madrid, and obviously his own skills and things like that. But yeah, so I'm thinking this could be a new opportunity because I've just saw that video recently. I thought I'd upload this video, even though I've got so many ideas in my head, but I really wanted to cover this video today. But I was thinking, could this be a new opportunity for Juventus to actually I think sometimes when something pushes you to take action, maybe it forces you to take action, and that's not the same thing, I suppose. And it will probably, it could actually make, I think it'd be interesting if Juventus got a really wealthy buyer or bidder or whatnot, and lots of investment, basically got a lot of money and invest it, and it could be a chance for Juventus to really become world class, to have world class players, also world class youth facilities and things like that. So it'd be interesting if maybe a wealthy Arab or American owner who really wants to win competitions as well. I think that should be the thing, like trophies, going to win, like trying to win the league, trying to win the Champions League, win the league, or at least come in the top four and get into the Champions League and try and win the Champions League, or at least challenge, and then hopefully even the World Club Cup and the Super Cup, because I'd love for that as a fan of Italian football generally. So yeah, to win like 4 or 5 3 or 4, maybe even 5 trophies, or something like that, would be pretty cool. And like get a world-class manager, because it doesn't look like Allegri's kicking it at the moment, or cutting it, or whatever word you want to use. Basically, he's not performing as well as perhaps arguably he should be for a team that wants to be challenging and be as successful as possible. So I know I haven't really planned this video out, but I just thought I'd share some of my views on it and opinions and thoughts generally. Sorry, still got my tea obsession, but yeah. So on a side note, one of my sisters got me quite a lot of decaf tea, so I don't have too much caffeine. Anywho, sticking to the topic, yeah, so I wonder if Juventus have a new opportunity now. It seems like it's really going bad, and apparently there was a lot of things that seem to be a bit dodgy, like with transfers and all that. I'm thinking back as well to the Calcio scandal, which people who follow football, especially Italian football, might know, and it really bad. And I was thinking that it was really bad, and it's still possibly affected Italian football till to date. So I think it will be. I think rival fans, it'll be interesting to hear what they think. But I think Inter Milan fans or Torino fans or other fans who are not big fans of Juventus. In fact, I think Juventus is quite hated, just like Man United used to be in England. I think they're quite hated in Italy. So they're probably kind of like the equivalent of Man United in Italy in a way. But I suppose, but arguably, I'd love to hear people's opinions of all the things I mentioned, and whatever your thoughts are on Juventus and the situation, or the situation in Italian football generally. But I was thinking that, yeah, it could be a new opportunity, as I say. Maybe get the negatives out of the way first. I think it's really bad that they're involved in things that they worry about, things like the Calcio scandal happening again, like if they get points deductions, fines, or even demotivation. I mean, being demotivated, excuse me, down the leagues, or at least one league or something like that. That would be really bad. And rival fans might laugh about it and say it's funny to see Juventus struggle. But I think that from the point of view of Italian football, it might really be another death knell in Italian football. So it might be, unfortunately, as a fan of Italian football generally, I worry that it could be something that even affects teams like that might be laughing, like Inter Milan or even Torino or other Italian teams generally. It might be something that drags them down a bit as well. It might take a lot. It might put investment off in Italian football, and with less competition. Like if a big team like Juventus goes downhill, I mean, it could give an opportunity for a new team to come through, but they would take a while to get back. So I think it is quite worrying if they do get fines, or especially if they get demoted and demoted. So yeah, again, I think it could be really bad for Italian football generally, and especially for Juventus, but for Italian football generally. And if we are struggling, sorry about my habits, but yeah, if I say in speech marks, but yeah, if Italian football teams are struggling in Europe now, it could well be even worse. So I do fear that, but yeah, I think that covers all the negative thoughts. But I think on a brighter note, it could force a change where new investors come in and invest a lot of money and rebuild, getting the best possible managers, coaches. I'd love to see Pep Guardiola come to Juventus as a fan of Italian football generally, like possibly next year. Sorry, Allegri, but I think Allegri's probably got to go now, because I suppose Allegri's argument might be that it's because of who he's working with, and they haven't invested well enough in the squad. I don't know, but it doesn't seem like he's cutting it unless he has great players to work with. Maybe he could prove me wrong and others wrong. Prove me and others wrong. But I think it'd be good to see. I'd love to see Pep also bringing that Italian attacking style of football to Italy, which I think would be great. See that change and the entertainment. So I'd love to see managers and coaches like that bring in that entertainment to bring back Italian football, like to be popular. I think it used to be quite popular in the 90s and successful as well. So, but yeah, I think also like I'd love to see Zidane, who used to be a former player of Juventus, be like the coach as well, especially coaching the youth. I also think on that note that it's really important Juventus invest in the youth. Another thing I wanted to say is like with my alliterations, which people have seen if you see my previous videos, if Juventus fans just stumble across this video and they haven't seen my other videos, I often talk about like alliterations, but I think it'd be great if Juventus actually worked to change their image and work towards, like, if they had Juventus for Justice, which actually tackled corruption, match fixing, crime, criminality, even like say give youth in Turin especially, or across Italy in particular, and possibly around the world, but especially in Italy itself, opportunities. Like, so if they have good behavior, they get to play for the academies. So developing youth, I think, is really important. And yeah, do stuff like that, and improving diets, encouraging people not to smoke, drink, take drugs, or break the law. Like that, and encouraging those sorts of values, and again tackling crime, criminality, and that kind of thing, including match fixing, corruption, all that kind of thing. I think it'd be quite an irony, as I often say, like the Italian teams, which are known for corruption, unfortunately, FIFA, which is a sport I love, known for corruption and all that kind of thing. So I think it'd be great if they worked with FIFA to kick corruption out. And also, I think of this one, it's probably a bit of a controversial idea, but I think Jews for Juventus, like if they work with the Jewish community to tackle anti-Semitism, but also because they play in black and white. I know the history of that is that they got it from Notts Forest when they had to borrow kit, but when they didn't have their own kit or something. But anyway, most importantly, I think because they play in black and white, they could fight for diversity and equality and talk about that kind of thing. That could help to promote the brand amongst people of all different races, religions, colours, backgrounds, and that kind of thing. So I think it would be pretty cool. To work to promote diversity, tackle anti-Semitism and all that kind of thing, work with the Jewish community. And again, because it's black and white, and Jews for Juventus or Juventus support Jewish community, and that kind of thing, I think would be pretty cool. And that could help the global brand. But I'd love to see, I thought that Man City was owned by Dubai, but I think it's actually Abu Dhabi who owns Man City, and I think it's Qatar who owns PSG. So I think it would be interesting if someone like Dubai, or maybe even the Sultan of Brunei, something like that perhaps. So one of the wealthy Arabs, just like with Man City and PSG, and now Palermo in Italy, who is another team I would love for Pep to manage in the future, in a few years' time, perhaps in maybe in 5 to 10 years' time or something. I think that covers everything anyway. But again, I'd love for them to fight for justice and tackle inequalities and discrimination and things like that. Work with the Jewish community and people that black and white and Asian and different backgrounds, as they say, black and white, which normally people use to mean diversity. And I'd love to see what my fellow neurodiverse people could contribute to Juventus as well. But again, I hope this turns from a negative thing into an opportunity to make positive changes. And I'll be kicking myself if I forgot anything later, but I think that covers everything. Again, I'd love to hear what you think. If you made it this far, I really appreciate it. And please share the video if you'd be so kind. Subscribe if you're new, and like, and that kind of thing. If you'd be so kind again, please. And I appreciate it so much. I always try and be polite. I think it's really important to say please, appreciate, thank you, and things like that, and to be as polite as possible. Anyway, I am out. Peace and out.